Hey traders, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. We're going to look at the broader market and see where we stand. Bitcoin bulls are testing the double top at 52,000, and there are some healthy signs of rotation going on within the sector. I'll show you what that looks like. Before we get to the charts, we are doing our end of the year course sale. So any of our two courses for $180 combined, and you don't need a special code or anything. We just set things up so that is the way it is at checkout. And you can click the link in the pinned comments of this YouTube video to take you to that page. So here we got Bitcoin bulls setting a daily higher low over the holiday weekend. Happy holidays, everybody. Hope you had a good one. So we've got a double top right now, and actually it's more of a triple top where we had the high of the initial bounce at 52,000. Then we topped out again at that level, and here we are testing that level yet again. So technically we broke 52,000, but with zero follow through. So as far as I'm concerned, we are still battling that level, and we are on the verge of seeing hourly consolidation begin. Right now, it's a 15-minute higher low that we're looking for off EMA 12 support. But the last thing the bulls want to do is lose the hourly uptrend without breaking 52,000 convincingly, because that would be a convincing rejection if that were to happen. So again, bigger picture, we know we are scouting a weekly lower high to be the result of this bounce. And we're watching our retracement size. And right now, the size of this bounce retracement, a weekly bear flag is still possible. So again, we have to prepare for all scenarios. This is a potential head and shoulders pattern that is definitely on the table as a possibility. I don't think it's the most likely scenario because the broader market right now is at all-time highs, the S&P 500. But I'm watching for that to be possible. So again, just having game plans for all scenarios. And ideally, the bulls make their way to the mid 55,000 plus range to try and see this bounce approach the midway point. 50% retracement is what the bulls want to see. Checking in on the dollar real quick. So again, S&P 500 all-time highs. Dollar has been setting daily higher lows for 2 months at this point. And to start this week, we are either going to see another higher low set for this equilibrium or a break of support to lose the daily higher lows for the first time in 2 months. If you are a Bitcoin or cryptocurrency bull, you want to see that bear break. So it's worth paying attention to the dollar as well. So Bitcoin, in the short term, I still got my position from the last aggressive, I think the last video I was talking about it, but where I made my aggressive entry, I missed stopping out by $33, less than $33. And at this point, just holding that position still because I don't have a reason to exit. But if we fail 52,000 here, I will definitely look to take a little bit off. And the reason being, it will be a potential rising wedge at that point. This is the 4-hour time frame. So again, it's too early to say whether we're rejecting or not. But if we don't get over 52,000 and we lose the hourly uptrend, I'm watching for this 4-hour rising wedge to be a possible setup that we're keeping an eye on. And on this Bitcoin position, I have less profit cushion to work with than I do on the positions that I had entered previously a few days before Bitcoin convinced me to look for a bullish entry. So that's what we're looking at in the short term. If we do get over 52,000, I'm going to be looking up. There's not a whole lot of resistance immediately after because of this drop. Really, we're looking up at 57.6 as the next clear level from there. But that's too far away as far as, I want to find a level in between here and there. So we have previous support, now resistance in the 53.3, 53.5 range. That would be the next target that I look for if the bulls are able to break 52,000 convincingly. So need to maintain that hourly uptrend and break 52,000 and turn it into support. The dominant chart is remaining weak. We are at our triple bottom on the monthly. And it is weak because the altcoin bulls are stronger than Bitcoin has been on this bounce. So if we see a bear break of this base of support in the 39% range, we're then looking down at 35%. That is the lowest that we have seen in many years. So keep that in mind. And again, why this is bullish for me is the profit rotation that I'm talking about. What we're seeing in the cryptocurrency space right now is Bitcoin giving a little bit of confidence, this broader stock market giving confidence, and then you have coins doing their own thing. You have a handful of coins will run and they'll be the leaders up 6, 8, 10% on the day. And they'll hold up strong and they'll be lead bulls for 2-3 days. And then they'll start their daily consolidation. And then the laggards, the names that were not strong during that last 3 days, they then have their turn. And the biggest or the clearest example that I can give you is look at Luna So Luna has been running extremely strong. We had one day where it looked like it was a potential top, but no daily consolidation for days and days. It's your lead bull on the way up. Now daily consolidation is underway. But look at ADA. It was sideways for 3 days, and now it's made its bull break to the upside. Binance, we're going to look at in just a second. Binance was doing nothing, and it is now making a big bull move. So profits are rotating around. These names are running, and this is more beneficial for traders. You know, if you're seeing an environment with tons of correlation, everything's just doing the same thing as Bitcoin, granted to different degrees. You know, they'll go up stronger than Bitcoin, they'll drop down more than Bitcoin, but everybody's doing the same thing. And that limits your opportunity, whereas I can be bearish this name and bullish this name at the same time and make money on both. Or I can be over here focused on this name, and as soon as we lose the 4-hour uptrend, I go focus on the name that has the 4-hour equilibrium. Hopefully then it breaks in favor of the direction I'm looking. So it allows for a lot more activity and a lot more individuality in the cryptocurrency space, which is a good sign. So that for me is a bullish sign overall. We want to see that continuing to happen. And keeping the dominance chart weak shows us that. Ethereum is sideways right now. So we're watching for Ethereum. Is Ethereum going to get a turn here on the 12-hour chart? Let's actually go to the 4-hour. But it's an equilibrium where we're just tightening up. Base of support at 4,000. We had a high. We failed the high. And we did just make a 4-hour bull break, but we're not following through at this point in time. And ETH BTC is close to a bear break. Look at the 2-day time frame here. We're on the verge of breaking 783, which would be a red flag as far as further weekly consolidation coming. So Ethereum, this has been the longest I have not looked at Ethereum. And I've traded Sol and I've traded ADA and I've traded these other names, but ETH BTC, I mean, I had one green day mixed in there, but aside from that, for the last 9 days, it has been one of the weaker names. So that's a good sign, or I should say that's a good signal to be looking elsewhere if you're looking bullish. The ETH BTC pattern tightening up. The bulls have to hold 783 for a 2-day equilibrium if we're going to see any kind of short-term strength, relative strength in Ethereum. But for now, if we don't break 41.43 and 41.58, then the bulls don't go anywhere. And we're going to keep watching these 4-hour higher lows, but we will be cautious because we know that these bulls are not positioned well if Bitcoin were to reject from 52,000. That's a nice 4-hour uptrend to be keeping an eye on. And again, we keep seeing these rising wedges present themselves, and they're worth paying attention to. Some of them have broken bullish, absolutely. But here's another one where if we don't see a clear bull break for Ethereum, then we're going to be watching for this pattern to break to indicate more significant daily consolidation taking shape. Sol USD, so nice follow through. And again, I'm just looking at the names that I have positions in, and then we'll look at some other names that have stood out for various reasons, but still interested in Sol because of its relative strength as well. We're looking at anything under 243.56 as a weekly lower high, but we've already made a very significant move off of the weekly low. I will be looking to take some profit into this weekly bounce and then hopefully reload it for a weekly higher low, but not making any decisions right now until pretty much Bitcoin would need to give me a clear red flag for me to be looking to take some profit, some more profit in these swings. We know daily consolidation will be inevitable. We haven't seen any meaningful daily consolidation since 168, so we're up 20% since then. 4-hour uptrend is our guide. Higher low of 194.83 just set. And again, this one as well has a bit of a rising wedge on the 4-hour time frame for us to be keeping an eye on. Need to see conviction and follow through. And we're breaking resistance, but just not a ton of follow through. You can see the bull breaks lead to consolidation. So again, just keeping an eye out for the bulls to potentially run out of some short-term momentum, which will have us looking for a daily higher low. Aggressive bulls would be watching for hourly oversold conditions to scout a daily higher low next time we do pull back from here. Sol BTC, testing resistance, trying to get a bull break. It's not convincing yet at this point, but a high, low, lower high, higher low, and trying to break that resistance. The weekly perspective, you can see we're still fairly tight, but holding strong. And it's just a question of, can we convincingly break that resistance? And if the answer is no, that will be a red flag for me. If this 4-hour time frame sees a lower high and lower low on the Sol BTC pattern, that to me will increase the probabilities that Sol USD is a 4-hour rising wedge. So again, in this market environment, you can be bullish, but you can be scouting hedge bearish entries. And that's something I've been doing in the stock market. I've got only bullish exposure for my swing trades, but on a daily basis, I'm scouting bearish entries to try and put myself in low risk scenarios where if I stop out of that bearish entry, small loss or break even ideally, and my swing positions continue to benefit. And if I don't stop out and we drop, my swing positions lose value, but I gain on my short trade. So again, in this current market environment, there's plenty of opportunity in both directions with different names. And I'm getting a little bit more cautious on SOL the more that I look at this. I'm going to keep the 4-hour EMA 12 as a bit of a guide, but I'll be pretty quick to exit some more of this position that's now in 25% profit to just be locking in gains. ADA USD, so it traded sideways. It took a back seat. It did nothing. And other names were running. And I'm looking at it and saying, you know, at this point I know better, but it's understandable why someone would look at it and say, oh, well, this coin's running. I chose the wrong coin. It's just biding its time, trading sideways. We had a clear 4-hour equilibrium. Actually, what I did here is after this pullback in my swing position, which is again from 127, I said, okay, well, I'm anticipating a 4-hour lower high is going to be the result of this bounce. So I exited a quarter of the position that I have into this move, and it was in maybe the 144s. And then I saw this pullback and then recognized, okay, it's probably a 4-hour equilibrium. I rebought exactly where I sold it, same exact price. Because initially when I sold, I didn't know what the setup was going to look like. And then I sold into that move, and as soon as I saw bulls hold on just fine and hold 138, I rebought at the exact same price that I sold, and now my stop is under 138. I'm walking up a stop on my aggressive position, because if you remember, I entered at 127, and then I added to this position, I forget where, maybe 130, the low 130s or so, added to it the same time that I entered my Bitcoin position to go a bit more aggressive. But 4-hour time frame, plenty of space for a higher low. Weekly chart, again, we know a weekly lower high is the most likely scenario. Bulls are trying to create enough space for an eventual weekly trend change to try and shape up. But plenty of space for a 4-hour higher low the next time we consolidate. ADA BTC, leg up as well, weekly time frame. Bounce is underway, a little bit weaker overall. You can see the 4-hour consolidation is more significant. So keeping a close eye on the correlation, but not getting any information from it right now. Binance. So Binance, here's one where it started this morning. How many hours ago was this? 8 hours ago. BNB has been quiet. So again, knowing that we're in a market environment where we are seeing profits rotating around, find the quiet, tighter names. BNB has been quiet. BNB BTC 12-hour falling wedge watch, top watch for me to start this week. So at that point in time, this is unfortunate because this was going to be a major talking point for this video 3 hours ago, but the bull break has already taken place, unfortunately. So that was back here. And it was just recognizing Binance is trading sideways. It's a major coin. It has not done anything to stand out. So that's the premise when I'm getting ready to start the day and checking in on everything. I say, okay, well, what's Binance BTC doing? And I see a clear falling wedge is shaping up. So I say, that just magnifies things for me. Okay, it's tightening up. That's one thing. But if I see a bullish setup for the BNB pairing, looking for a weekly higher low, and it just played out perfectly. Unfortunately, too late for this video, or too early for this video. 12-hour trend change confirmed, and big time breakout on Binance. Zoom out on Binance. Anything under 669 is a weekly lower high, but inside bar bull break. And again, just playing laggard. It just traded sideways for 3 days, and now it's taking its turn. The clue, so again, just to go over exactly how this played out. Quiet observation with the cryptocurrency space as a whole tells me find the tight, quiet names, and it was confirmed for me with the BTC pairing. BTC pairing told me, yeah, you're on the right track. Look at that name because there's a bullish setup on the BTC pairing, and if it breaks bull, this coin is going to get their turn. So another one here. That's a dog. It was the next one, Luna. So Luna grinding hourly channel support, looking like daily consolidation is shaping up. Keep an eye out for 4-hour lower high next bounce, and it'll be notable to us if this 15-minute oversold bounce lacks follow through. So why would that be notable? And daily consolidation clearly underway. We didn't see a 4-hour bounce. We just rolled over. So why is that 15-minute notable to us? And again, at this point in time, it was right here in the morning. Why is that notable? It's notable because if you go back and look, you can see that we have been bouncing from 15-minute oversold. So 15-minute RSI in the low 30s here marked the bottom. 15-minute RSI oversold marked the bottom. If 15-minute RSI oversold does not mark the bottom, it tells you there is a shifting market environment that is different from the previous few days and the previous few attempts. So as soon as we hit that lower low, you can say, okay, this time's different. And obviously the bears have seen some significant follow through from there. We now have an hourly back burner bounce trying to play out, but it's still fairly weak. And we're going to be watching daily EMA 12. At this point, I personally am probably going to be picky and wait for 4-hour oversold if I'm going to be interested. If that hourly RSI were to fall to the low 20s, I would get interested. Let's see, we're 12-hour EMA 12. Well, we're right there. We might see this hourly bounce try and shape up. But again, it all depends on whether you want to be aggressive or conservative. Aggressive bulls are playing this hourly oversold dip. Conservative bulls are patiently waiting for 4-hour to get oversold or for daily EMA 12 support. Maybe we see an hourly oversold bounce and then drop down to a lower low towards that daily EMA 12. So again, we're just seeing rotation going on. And there's been plenty of examples where my list over the weekend would be half green and half red. Sushi's having an explosion of a day. Did sushi trade sideways? It did. So, sideways trading, tightening up, and then taking its turn. Matic has been a lead bull. Matic and Luna, and what was the other one? AVAX maybe was a lead bull. But they are now weak, and other names are getting their turn. So rotation. Sand has been really strong recently. What's Sand doing? It's starting some daily consolidation. Looks like I had a falling wedge on it that broke bull. I don't remember drawing that, but it was a 15-minute time frame. Was that from this morning as well? It was. Let's see if I mentioned it. So many coins that I look at when I first sit down at the computer, I forget. Who cares? So Matic, there we go. It always tells me when I'm about done. So that's it. That's what we're looking at. Again, watch the BTC pairings for clues. If something's a lead bull and in the spotlight, the BTC pairing showing some weakness is a clue. Luna, BTC lost the 4-hour uptrend before Luna USD did. It gave us an initial little heads up for some growing weakness. Binance, BTC gave us a heads up, watch for Binance bulls to get their turn. Still going to swing ADA and Sol and Bitcoin, but I'm going to be watching very closely to see if Bitcoin rejects from 52. And if it does, that'll be a signal for me to lighten up a little bit. Here's hourly consolidation. So I will lighten up a little bit on my swing positions if it does indeed look like Bitcoin is going to reject this test of 52,000. I'll give the bulls a chance. I've got a lot of profit cushion to be working with. But knowing that we're looking for weekly lower highs keeps me in profit-taking mode because, again, if I'm going to make a mistake, it'll be taking profit too soon before another leg up as opposed to holding the position and giving back 10% to the downside because I don't want to lock in profit. Keep your eyes on both directions. Don't forget to hedge if you have exposure in one direction. There are plenty of coins that are stronger and weaker and doing different things at different times. That's the takeaway for me over the last few days. I hope you had a good weekend. Don't forget to do good things, and we'll check back in soon. Adventure Time, Chapter 11-7. We've got, where are we going? Curacanti National Recreation Area. And heading back, curling around from Telluride, through Red Rocks, back to Boulder, where I'm going to do the house sitting. So again, just more national public lands to check out. Hung out here all day and just swam and lounged around in the sun, and that was the day's task. As I hopped around, I got to the point where, I used to be able to drive from college to home. I would drive 14 hours, sometimes in a row, sometimes peeing while in cruise control. But I quickly burned myself out, and then I started to really only do 4 hours at a time. Anything more than 4 hours driving, and I get pretty miserable. And so I would just hop and find little spots along the way. I pick a spot on a map, I know where my destination is, and then I just zoom in and look for green areas on the map and national parks and national forests where I can stop in between, sometimes out of the way, but usually not too bad, and some nice hikes along the way. More Curacanti, again, just a big open giant lake where you can hang out, camp, do whatever, boat. It's ours, it's public. We pay for it. Take advantage of it. So string cheese at Red Rocks was a great time. First time at that venue, heading back there in 2 months to see my buddy playing Papadosio. That'll be fun. I'll take some more pictures and footage there. But just a really unique venue in terms of being surrounded by the rocks and obviously pretty iconic. And those are the rocks that are red. Baby chipmunk. So now getting back, and my task was to house sit for a month in Boulder and walk. This is Nina, and she is an Australian Shepherd. And man, if you have never seen Australian Shepherds, I'm sure there's a lot of work dogs that are up there in regards to it, but their drive is insane. And it's clear that they have been bred for thousands of years to just work, and that's all they want to do. And I have no doubt that, you could probably run this dog to death if you just threw a ball for 20 hours in a row. All she wanted to do was chase the ball. That's it. And she would do it for hours and hours on end. So it was nice to have a home base and be able to trade a little bit. I did some trading, be able to make food on a stove. That was nice. And just take care of the garden. She had a big old wall of peas and a bunch of raised beds that had been pretty developed. There's the backyard, a nice rainbow, great views. Pretty awesome backyard. There he is. So harvesting some cucumbers and beans and potatoes that were all grown in these little raised beds. You can see my matching pants. It's a funny story about those pants. I think I've already told it, but I'll save that for another time. Yeah, matching outfit. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been wearing the same outfit for 3 days in a row now. Whoever invented that you need to change clothes every day is a fool. I don't buy it. Some cool, they had what are these? Hot air balloons. They had a hot air balloon festival, so that was cool in the distance. I guess that's, I don't know what that is. If that looks too big to be a dove, maybe not. Anyways, raised beds, nice and established. That's all you need. The amount of food that you can grow in this right here is pretty remarkable. And you can definitely feed a family on that. So get some raised beds and grow some food. So I didn't do a whole lot aside from, explore Boulder, do some hikes in the area, check out the restaurants, and trade and take care of the dog, and then moved onwards, westwards to Utah, which had some great spots, and we'll head there next. See you then.